Janelle Brown has officially hard-launched a brand new man, and the Sister Wives universe will never be the same. After years of heartbreak, manipulation, and spiritual entrapment with Kody Brown, Janelle just dropped a massive bombshell that absolutely no one saw coming. Taking to social media on August 18, 2026, she introduced the world to her new boyfriend, Pete. But this isn't just a casual fling or a passing rumor. This is a highly calculated, deeply emotional reveal that completely rewrites everything we thought we knew about Janelle's post-polygamy life. We have exclusive theories and deep dives into this social media explosion, looking at the hidden details in her cozy selfie and the secret meaning behind her emotional caption. Was this just an unexpected romance? Or is this the ultimate revenge glow-up against Kody? The drama is unfolding faster than anyone predicted, and Janelle is finally taking center stage in her own love story. Before we uncover the shocking details about Pete, how they met, and what this all means for her complicated past with Kody, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to Sister Wives Crew so you never miss out on the most explosive Sister Wives updates and exclusive theories. The August 18th announcement shook the internet to its core. Janelle took to Instagram to share a cozy, intimate selfie with her new man Pete, and the caption was incredibly telling. She explained to her millions of followers that she absolutely was not looking for a relationship when Pete walked into her life. In fact, she described him as someone she did not even realize she needed. Calling the entire experience pretty wonderful, Janelle laid her heart completely bare. This language is so crucial when we analyze her journey. For a woman who spent decades suppressing her own needs for the sake of a plural marriage, admitting that she found someone she actually needs is a monumental shift. It makes this announcement feel so much more meaningful than just a casual social media post. For longtime fans of the show, it marks the absolute beginning of a completely new chapter in Janelle's personal life, one where she is finally the priority. Our exclusive theory is that Janelle has been quietly dating Pete for a while, keeping him completely shielded from the public eye and the reality TV cameras until she knew this was the real deal. You don't just drop a hard launch with a sentimental caption unless you are incredibly confident in the foundation of the relationship. To truly understand why Janelle's new relationship is so earth-shattering, we have to look back at her long, painful history with Kody Brown. Janelle and Kody were spiritually married for roughly 29 years. Think about that for a second. Nearly 3 decades of her life were tied to a man who, by the end, openly admitted he didn't feel romantic love for her, treating her more like an estranged business partner than a cherished wife. Their relationship officially crumbled in 2022. And since that devastating split, Janelle has been relentlessly focusing on rebuilding her life from the ground up, fighting for her financial independence, and finding her own voice. Pete is her first publicly announced romantic partner since the bitter end of that decades-long spiritual marriage. Her new romance, therefore, represents so much more than simply finding a boyfriend to pass the time. It is a loud, undeniable statement that Janelle is opening herself up to love again, allowing herself to be vulnerable after years of emotional neglect. The major question circulating among fans, and the core of our exclusive theories today, is whether Janelle has finally, permanently closed the door on her past with Kody. For years, viewers worried that Kody's grip on Janelle was too strong, that she might somehow be lured back into the family fold. But this hard launch with Pete seems to be the final nail in the coffin of her past life in Flagstaff. Kody is officially in the rearview mirror. But Pete is only one piece of the incredible puzzle that is Janelle's 2026 transformation. This entire year has been a masterclass in independence for her. Earlier in the year, Janelle achieved a massive personal milestone when she completed and finally moved into her absolute dream home in North Carolina. After years of unstable living situations, renting, living in an RV on Coyote Pass, and dealing with Kody's endless real estate drama, Janelle took matters into her own hands. This gorgeous new home is located right near her daughter Maddie, her son-in-law Caleb, and her precious grandchildren. This strategic move allows Janelle to remain fiercely close to her family, while creating a permanent sanctuary and a lifestyle entirely of her own making. When we look at the timeline, her new relationship with Pete is just one part of a much bigger, beautifully orchestrated transformation. She isn't a woman who needed a man to save her. She saved herself first. She built the house, she secured her family connections, she found her personal happiness and independence, and then, only then, did she allow romance into her life. This sequence of events proves that she is creating a life based strictly on her own choices and priorities, something she was never allowed to do while married to Kody. So who exactly is Pete? And why are fans losing their minds with curiosity? Pete is the man who managed to capture the heart of the most logical, pragmatic woman in the Sister Wives franchise. According to Janelle, the relationship was completely unexpected. She wasn't actively swiping on dating apps or desperately searching for love when they met. That unexpected romance angle makes their story incredibly captivating. The fandom is buzzing with exclusive theories about how they might have crossed paths. Did they meet through mutual friends in North Carolina? Did they bump into each other in town? Viewers naturally want to know everything about this mystery man. We want to know what attracted Janelle to him, how serious the relationship has actually become behind closed doors, and how Pete fits into her established family dynamic. Because Janelle has historically kept so much of her private dating life tightly under wraps, this sudden public reveal has created a frenzy of curiosity. Adding fuel to the fire of this incredible announcement is none other than Kody Brown. Janelle's former sister wife and absolute best friend immediately jumped into the comment section to show her unwavering support. Kody publicly described Pete as an awesome guy, and her enthusiastic reaction is telling us a massive story behind the scenes. Her reaction proves that Pete has already been introduced to the inner circle. He has passed the Kody test, which means he is actively spending time with Janelle's closest confidants. Kody is clearly thrilled to see Janelle enjoying this beautiful new chapter. But here is the most fascinating detail that Kody accidentally revealed to the world. Pete works in construction. Let that sink in. Pete is a hard-working construction guy, which immediately gives him a massive thing in common with Kody's own husband, David Woolley, who also works in construction and drywall. The parallels are absolutely mind-blowing. Both women left Kody, a man obsessed with his hair, flashy cars, and hearing himself talk. And both women ended up with salt-of-the-earth, hard-working, blue-collar men who built things with their own two hands. The fandom is already spinning exclusive theories about double dates with Janelle, Pete, Kody, and David, imagining these two strong women finally getting the absolute fairy tale endings they always deserved. Kody's warm reaction adds an incredible family and friends element to this story, proving that Janelle's support system is stronger than ever. Janelle's relationship with Pete is so much more than just a fun new boyfriend to post about on social media. When we really break down the psychology of this reveal, it becomes incredibly clear that this romance is a pivotal part of a much larger, deeply personal journey. For nearly 3 decades, Janelle was the logical, stoic backbone of the Brown family. She was the one who worked the long hours, balanced the budgets, and constantly compromised her own desires for the sake of the big picture and the infamous family pot. She spent years redefining what she wants from life after the devastating realization that Kody was no longer the man she married. After pouring her heart, her finances, and her soul into a plural marriage that ultimately left her with nothing but an empty lot on Coyote Pass and a broken heart, Janelle is finally taking her power back. She is now making decisions based entirely on her own happiness and her own priorities. Publicly introducing Pete to the world suggests that she is absolutely no longer allowing her past relationship with Kody to define her future. She is refusing to be the tragic, left-behind sister wife. Instead, she appears more ready than ever to embrace new experiences, new possibilities, and the kind of exclusive, undivided attention she was starved of for 29 years. This makes her romance with Pete a powerful symbol of personal growth, a brilliant fresh start, and the ultimate triumph of a woman who finally realized her own worth. But to fully grasp the gravity of this situation, we have to talk about the massive, earth-shattering spiritual development that happened just before Pete entered the picture. This is where our exclusive theories really start to connect the dots. Earlier in 2026, it was heavily reported that Janelle actively sought and obtained an official spiritual release from Kody through their church leadership. If you know anything about the fundamentalist Mormon faith and the Apostolic United Brethren, you know that a spiritual sealing is meant to last for eternity. Breaking that bond is not as simple as signing a legal divorce paper, especially since Janelle and Kody were never legally married. For Janelle, a woman who always took her faith and her covenants incredibly seriously, seeking an official unsealing was an absolutely monumental step. It wasn't just about physically leaving Flagstaff or separating her bank accounts from Kody and Robin. It was about formally and spiritually severing the eternal tie that bound her to a man who had completely abandoned her emotionally. Getting that spiritual release was the ultimate act of closing the darkest chapter of her life. The timing of this spiritual unsealing makes her new relationship with Pete incredibly significant, and social media has been buzzing with exclusive theories about how these two events are connected. On one side, you have Janelle doing the heavy, painful emotional labor of untangling herself from a 30-year religious commitment. She was bravely facing down the leaders of her former faith, demanding her spiritual freedom and wiping the slate entirely clean. And on the exact other side of that painful closure, she was miraculously entering a beautiful, bright new romantic chapter with Pete. The stark contrast between ending the old, oppressive chapter and beginning a new, liberating one creates one of the most compelling emotional storylines in the history of reality television. She literally had to sever her ties to her past before the universe allowed Pete to walk into her life. It is the kind of poetic justice that you simply cannot script. Fans on social media are pointing out that Janelle looks visibly lighter, younger, and completely glowing in her selfie with Pete. And our exclusive theory is that this glow comes directly from the spiritual weight of Kody Brown finally being lifted off her shoulders. Of course, with any massive life update, the question on everyone's mind is, has Janelle truly moved on? Fans are naturally going to compare Janelle's fresh, new relationship with her long, complicated, and often toxic history with Kody. Social media comment sections are already flooded with side-by-side comparisons, looking at how Kody treated Janelle in the final seasons of the show versus the pure joy radiating from her in this new announcement. People want to know if Pete is going to open the car door for her, if he's going to help her around the house, and if he's going to prioritize her in a way Kody never did. But the real story here isn't simply Kody versus Pete. Turning this into a competition gives Kody far too much power. The bigger, much more important story is Janelle finally having the total freedom to decide what she wants for herself, without having to consult 3 other women and a narcissistic husband. Her relationship with Pete appears to be a beautiful extension of that hard-won independence. For the first time in her adult life, Janelle is the only woman in her partner's life. She doesn't have to share Pete's time, his affection, or his resources. She doesn't have to look at a complicated family schedule to figure out what day he is allowed to come over and spend time with her. That shift in dynamic alone has to be completely mind-blowing for her. However, because Janelle is so pragmatic, viewers and fans are still wondering what the ultimate endgame is here. Is Pete a forever, long-term partner? Are we looking at wedding bells in North Carolina in the near future? Or is Janelle simply enjoying a new relationship, dipping her toes back into the dating pool and having fun for the first time in decades? That lingering uncertainty is exactly what is creating so much intense curiosity about what happens next. Janelle has not given away all the details just yet. She dropped the hard launch and let the internet completely break, keeping just enough mystery alive to leave us all begging for more. When we dive into the exclusive theories surrounding Kody's reaction to all of this, the drama reaches an entirely new level. Social media is ablaze with speculation about how Kody and Robin are handling the news that yet another wife has completely leveled up and moved on. We all saw how deeply Kody's ego was bruised when Christine married David Woolley. He spent months sulking, playing the victim, and claiming he was betrayed. Now, his most loyal, steady, financially savvy former wife has not only secured her own stunning home across the country, but she has also debuted a rugged, handsome new man who works in construction. Our exclusive theory is that Kody is absolutely spiraling behind closed doors. Janelle was the one he thought would always just stick around, the one who would accept the crumbs he threw her way because she was low maintenance. By hard-launching Pete, Janelle is sending a clear, undeniable message to Flagstaff that she is thriving without them. She doesn't need Kody's permission, his validation, or his presence in her life ever again. This entire situation really forces us to reevaluate everything we watched unfold on our screens for the past decade. Janelle always claimed she preferred her independence within the plural marriage, often saying she liked that Kody wasn't around every single day so she could have her own space. But was that true preference, or was it a trauma response? Was it just a coping mechanism to deal with a man who was clearly favoring one wife over the rest? Seeing her now, cozying up to Pete in a sweet selfie, radiating pure happiness, it strongly suggests that Janelle actually did want romance, companionship, and affection all along. She just learned to live without it because Kody was incapable of providing it. Pete represents the awakening of a side of Janelle that has been dormant for years. It is a complete emotional renaissance. The fact that she admitted in her caption that she didn't realize she needed him is the most heartbreaking and beautiful confession. It proves that she had built her walls up so high just to survive the Brown family dynamics, and Pete was the one who finally managed to break those walls down. As we continue to dissect this massive social media reveal, we cannot ignore the geographical shift that played a massive role in making this romance possible. If Janelle had stayed in Flagstaff, hopelessly staring at the empty dirt on Coyote Pass, she might never have met Pete. Leaving Arizona was the physical escape she needed to match her spiritual release. Moving to North Carolina wasn't just about being a grandmother, it was about completely changing her environment, her social circles, and her energy. It was about placing herself in a community where she is celebrated, not tolerated. Our exclusive theory is that North Carolina has provided Janelle with the exact kind of anonymity and peace she needed to let her guard down. Out there, away from the constant shadow of the Brown family drama, she was able to just be Janelle. Not Janelle the sister wife, not Janelle the reality TV star, just Janelle. A beautiful, intelligent, single woman, open to whatever the universe had in store. And the universe clearly had Pete waiting in the wings. The social media reaction to Pete has been nothing short of historic. Fans are completely united in their support for Janelle. Unlike the controversy and division that often surrounded Kody's decisions, this hard launch has been met with universal applause. The internet is treating this like the ultimate victory lap. People are heavily analyzing every pixel of that selfie, from the genuine smiles on their faces to the relaxed, comfortable body language. There is no forced tension, no underlying anxiety, just two people who are genuinely happy to be in each other's company. This is the exact kind of wholesome, uplifting content the fans have been desperately craving after enduring season after season of bitter arguments, gaslighting, and heartbreak. Janelle is finally giving the audience the triumphant comeback story they have been waiting for. And every single detail of this new relationship is a testament to her incredible resilience and strength. To truly comprehend the magnitude of this social media explosion, we have to zoom out and look at the absolute masterpiece that Janelle has made of her life this year. Janelle's jaw-dropping 2026 transformation absolutely cannot be explained by her relationship with Pete alone. While the internet is obsessing over the romance, our exclusive theories point to a much larger, incredibly empowering reality. Pete is simply the cherry on top of a life that Janelle completely rebuilt from the ashes of her plural marriage. Her life right now is defined by three major, undeniable themes that represent the ultimate glow-up. We are talking about a brand new home, a remarkably stronger family connection, and now, a thrilling new romance. All three of these pillars showcase exactly how dramatically her life has changed since finally escaping the toxic grip of Kody Brown. Let's break down exactly why this trifecta of success is the ultimate revenge. First, there is the North Carolina home. For years on the show, we watched Janelle agonize over housing. We watched her desperately try to make Kody care about building on Coyote Pass, pulling her hair out over blueprints, finances, and living in a tiny RV just to prove a point about her commitment to the family's shared vision. She sacrificed her own comfort time and time again, only to be met with Kody's endless excuses and blatant favoritism toward Robyn's mansion. But in 2026, Janelle flipped the script completely. Her new North Carolina home represents pure, unadulterated stability and independence. It is a physical monument to her financial savvy and her personal strength. She did not need a husband, a patriarch, or a family pot to secure her dream home. She did it completely on her own terms. The psychological safety of having a front door that Kody Brown does not have a key to cannot be overstated. Then we have the second massive pillar of Janelle's new life, her profoundly strengthened family connections. Living near her daughter Maddie, her son-in-law Caleb, and her beautiful grandchildren is what truly anchors Janelle. In the fundamentalist Mormon culture she left behind, family was defined by the patriarch, by loyalty to Kody, and by forced proximity to women she often had nothing in common with. But Janelle has completely redefined what family means. It is no longer about duty. It is about genuine, unconditional love. By physically moving across the country to be near the children who actually value and respect her, she has surrounded herself with a fiercely protective support system. Maddie has always been one of her mother's loudest advocates for independence, and social media is buzzing with exclusive theories that Maddie and Caleb played a huge role in encouraging Janelle to finally start dating again. Can you imagine the contrast? Kody actively alienated his older children, refusing to call them, visit them, or apologize for his behavior. Meanwhile, Janelle is spending her weekends going to her grandchildren's events, cooking family dinners, and building a legacy of love. Pete stepping into this healthy, thriving family dynamic is fascinating. Because Janelle's children are fiercely protective of her after everything she endured with Kody, Pete absolutely had to prove his worth. The fact that he is now proudly featured on her Instagram feed tells us that he has not only won Janelle's heart, but has also earned the stamp of approval from the children who know her best. Which brings us to the third and final pillar, the new romance. Pete represents a completely fresh romantic chapter, one that is entirely separate from the trauma of her past. When we look at these three developments together, the home, the family, and the boyfriend, it paints a picture of a woman who is completely unstoppable. Janelle did not find Pete and then built a life around him. She meticulously built her dream life first, secured her sanctuary, surrounded herself with her loving children, and then, from a place of total empowerment, she opened the door to love. This is why her social media caption was so incredibly moving when she said she wasn't looking for a relationship and didn't realize she needed him. She was already complete. Pete didn't have to rescue her. He just had to recognize her worth and add to her happiness. This flips the entire narrative that Kody constantly tried to push. Kody always wanted his wives to believe that they were nothing without him, that they needed his grand leadership to survive the real world. Janelle is proving, undeniably, that life actually begins the exact moment you stop waiting for Kody Brown to lead. As we pull all of these incredible pieces together, the story of Janelle Brown in 2026 is the ultimate fresh start. And it is a storyline that is completely captivating the reality television world. We have to take a moment to reflect on just how far she has traveled to get to this exact moment. She spent nearly 29 long, exhausting years in a spiritual marriage with Kody Brown. She was the peacemaker, the breadwinner, the logical thinker who constantly rationalized her own mistreatment for the greater good of a family that ultimately fractured beyond repair. After their brutal, highly publicized separation in 2022, she didn't just walk away. She had to painstakingly rebuild her entire identity. She had to unlearn decades of conditioning. And now, 4 years later, look at where she stands. In 2026, she possesses a gorgeous new dream home, unprecedented financial and emotional independence, a beautiful daily proximity to the family members who genuinely adore her, and now a rugged, handsome new boyfriend who treats her like she is the only woman in the room. The added layer of Kody Brown's immediate, enthusiastic public support just makes this entire social media spectacle even sweeter. Kody validating Pete as an awesome guy reinforces the beautiful, enduring sisterhood that survived the wreckage of Kody's plural marriage. Kody and Janelle walked through hell together, and now they are both standing on the other side, glowing, thriving, and deeply in love with men who actually respect them. It is the ultimate vindication. But of course, because the Sister Wives universe thrives on drama and anticipation, the biggest question moving forward is whether Pete will become a permanent fixture in Janelle's life. Social media sleuths and our own exclusive theories are working overtime trying to predict what comes next. Is Pete simply a fun, transitional romance that is helping Janelle rediscover her confidence? Or is Janelle Brown finally living the epic, everlasting love story she never expected to find? Will we see Pete making an appearance on future television specials? Are we going to get a double wedding vow renewal special with Kody, David, Janelle, and Pete? The internet is completely divided, but one thing is absolutely certain. Janelle holds all the power now. She gets to dictate the pace of this relationship. She gets to decide how much of Pete she shares with the world and how much she keeps safely tucked away in her North Carolina sanctuary. The mystery, the joy, and the absolute triumph of this moment have secured Janelle's place as the ultimate fan favorite. She has completely rewritten her destiny, proving that it is never, ever too late to demand exactly what you deserve. The chapter of Kody Brown is permanently closed, and the era of Janelle Brown is in full, spectacular swing. What do you guys think about Janelle's shocking new romance? Do you believe Pete is the one? Or is this just the beginning of Janelle exploring her newfound freedom? Drop your absolute best exclusive theories in the comment section down below, because I want to hear exactly what you think is going to happen next. If you loved this deep dive and want to stay ahead of all the craziest Sister Wives drama, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. Give this video a massive thumbs up, turn on those notification bells, and keep watching Sister Wives Crew, because we are the only channel bringing you the most explosive, uncut updates on everything happening in the Brown family universe. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next breakdown.